Are you stuck and looking for intuitive guidance? Do you sometimes wonder, what am I meant to learn from this challenging life experience? Are you interested in learning how a psychic and numerology reading can support you on your life journey? Are you ready for a change? If so, then today's show is for you. Our guest will be sharing her journey to becoming a psychic, numerologist, life coach, and much more. She'll be taking your questions and be doing live psychic and numerological mini readings with people on the show. So, as you know, as I like to say, get your pen and pad ready. You're going to take some notes with your questions for our guest, Joanne Leo. Buckle up. We're getting ready to take a ride in the quantum field and possibly way beyond. Buckle up. I wouldn't want you to go flying off to another dimension. Or just maybe, that's exactly what you need. Welcome to the People and Pet Show. Welcome to the People and Pet Show. I'm so honored and grateful to have with us our guest today, Joanne Leo. I'm going to unmute Joanne. Hi, Joanne. How are you doing today?
I am fabulous.
Yeah, great. You know, it's interesting how the world works. You know, I met Joanne through one of our previous guests, Jimmy Mack. I was talking to him. I'm always looking for really cool, great guests to have on the show. He said, give Joanne a call. She's great. She can do, readings and much more, and will help a lot of people. So let's talk. So that's how I met Joanne. And so I'm so honored and grateful to have her with us today. And I'm so honored and grateful to have those that are either watching the show live right now or seeing it on replay. You know, there are so many things you could be doing with your time right now, so much going on in the world. And I'm so honored and grateful that you've chosen to spend some of it with us. You know, you're going to get a lot of value out of today's show. As I said, Joanne will be doing some mini readings and in a short period of time. And so please, get out your notes. She'll be sharing, she said, if you'd like a numerology mini reading, she just needs your first name and birthday. And we'll be getting to that a little bit later in the show. But go ahead and get out if you have like one burning question on your plate you want to ask her about, please, jot it down. And we'll be getting to that very soon. Again, if you're seeing this live right now or on the Facebook page for People and Pets Energetics, be sure to subscribe to the Facebook page for People and Pets. Give the show love, likes, all the cool things. And if you're seeing it on replay on the YouTube channel for People and Pets Energetics or the People and Pets Show, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Give this episode a thumbs up, and please share out the episode to your friends and family, people that are interested in this type of work and will receive some benefits. So great. So I'm going to briefly introduce myself. My name is Mark Hernandez. I'm the owner and founder of People and Pets Energetics. I'm a holistic practitioner that helps people, animals, and spaces when they've hit the wall with health and well-being issues. The people that see me typically are consciously aware individuals. They're already in the holistic space, doing a lot of great things to take care of themselves. And with a specific issue, they're stuck in pain and have hit the wall, okay? They've gone through 95% of the things that genuinely help most people, and for whatever reason has provided a partial or no solution. That's who I serve with people. On the pets, people that bring me their pets are consciously aware pet parents that bring me their pets for one of two main reasons. One, a change in behavior. You have a dog or cat that's doing great, and then starts peeing, pooing all over the household. I work a lot with separation anxiety, excessive barking, and much more. The other area I help people with their pets is people have taken the pet to the vet. The vet discovers something veterinarily going on, blockage, tumor. I provide a layer of energetic support. So my work is something you do in addition to the excellent veterinary care you're giving your animal. The last area I work on are spaces. You know, we've probably all been in homes, buildings, we walk in and we go, I got to get out of here. This place has weird energy. Okay, I have the intuitive gifts and training to read the field of the space and identify and release the non-beneficial energies keeping that space wonky. All my work is non-invasive, safe, gentle, and yields results, at times immediately, and in other cases over time. I do 100% of my consultations remotely by phone or video technology. So that's who I am and what I do. So now, let's get to our guest of honor today, Joanne Leo. I'd like to introduce her. So Joanne Leo is a psychic, numerologist, and life coach. She has more than 30 years of experience giving readings and healings. She has appeared on radio shows and is consistently a booked reader in Psychic Showcase in the Tampa Bay area. Her clients come from all areas of the US. 10 years ago, she began using EFT, emotional freedom technique, popularly known as tapping. And this has helped many clients overcome grief, fear, anxiety, and more. Her motto for her psychic readings is readings with a heart. Our thoughts and words create our destiny. Her spiritual gifts and work have changed how Joanne views life and death events that occur in our lives. Life is a school with lessons on our path. Yes. Joanne offers readings in person, by phone, and for groups. I'm going to put her contact information. Her website is, excuse me. Well, I'm going to put it in the chat. I think it's Joanne. Well, I'm going to put it in the chat. I'll to make sure I do that. So, Joanne, welcome to the People and Pet Show. I'm going to mute you.
Great to be here, Mark.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So, oh.
Now I have a dog here that we have to calm down.
That's all right. I mean, you know, I've had people in previous episodes with pets, and sometimes the pets jump on, they hit each other. So whatever is fine. We'll go with the flow.
Well, unfortunately, the guy's cutting the grass, and so she thinks she needs to protect me or something, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. No worries. I mean, we're good. So, yeah. So Joanne, why don't you share with the audience how you got doing the work you're doing? I know it's been a journey for you. So what were some of the key moments in your journey?
Well, you know, it's serendipity, really. You know, I met this woman. I went for a reading, and this woman had just something about her, and I thought, oh, whatever she's got, I want that. Oh my goodness. But in the course of the reading, she stopped reading, and she said, you should be reading me. And I turned around. I was the only person in the room, and I thought, I should be reading you. Well, anyway, she took me under her wing because I really, truly believe that was God-inspired, number one.
Yeah.
And she introduced me to a whole different set of spiritual values through the game of life and how to play it by Florence Scovel Shinn, which was written in 1925.
Wow.
Okay? But it is the format. It is the format that everybody and their brother has written a book.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the Law of Attraction, whether it was The Secret, whether it's Abraham Hicks, Louise Hay and I both studied Shinn. So we know who Louise Hay is today, and she's taken Shinn material to the moon. Okay. And when I do my life coaching, I never ask anybody to do something that I haven't done myself, because it's all about reworking ourselves, rewiring the critic. You know, think about when you're 2 years old. Don't touch that. Don't look that way. Don't say that. Be nice. Share your toys. So you already know how to dismantle yourself. Do you understand?
Oh yeah.
My job is to spiritually put the pieces in place here and give you new tools for your toolbox. That's my goal. And then along the way, you know, the people that have come to that have impacted my spiritual work um, just appeared. You know, and that's how people have to be aware of. There's no planning for it. You know, I worked a show, and this woman said, "Oh, well, um, I have you met this PhD in numerology?" She was Dr. Ellen Zupardo, and I met her, and there was something about her that I felt there was synergy between her and I.
Yeah.
And she was a tough teacher, old school, took spirituality very serious. This is very serious work because you're dealing with somebody's soul. Does that
Oh
make
yeah.
sense?
Oh yeah.
So the name on your birth certificate and your birth date is how you're registered in heaven. And it is a blueprint because our soul never dies. And this is what people, I think, really need to understand on a soul level, because we can kind of search for spirituality in many little different nooks and crannies or through other people. But I think the most important thing to know is that your soul never dies.
Yeah.
So you live a life with different lessons to learn, okay? And sometimes they're hard lessons, okay? We go, oh, why me? But and but excuse me, I'm sorry guys, but that's
No
little
worries.
Satan, you know, my protector here. Um, but what happens is that you live your life and you go up to heaven and you spend some time up there, and you kind of, it's not about God holding you back from the pearly gates. That's not it at all. You
Mhm.
go up there and you analyze what were your kudos, what did you accomplish, what were your stumbling blocks, whether they had been addictions or personality traits or karmic lessons through other people. You work on your soul. And when you're ready, you say, okay, I'm ready to go back down there. And I want to do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
Okay. And you choose your mother, your father, your siblings, your friends, your school, your teachers, your lovers, uh, all these different nuances. And when I was studying with Dr. Ellen, I said to her, well, I have not had an easy rodeo. And she said, and you wouldn't be put on this earth to not teach and to show and to uplift and to bring people to a better understanding of themselves. So that was in the 80s that I started studying numerology. So I read cards for
Yeah.
many years. I read playing cards, and I read a very unique deck of cards that nobody reads anymore. They're called Schuster.
Huh.
And
How do you spell that? I'm still learning a lot of stuff myself. So,
okay,
Schuster?
as Schuster, ShustaH.
Okay.
And they're really unique, but they have a horrible book to learn from. So thank goodness I had a woman up here
Yeah.
who instructed me on Schuster. Well, I call them now tarot with a twist, because nobody's heard of Schuster. You know, it was in the 80s. It was very popular. It was designed by a astrologer and a tarot card reader. So they're very different. They're very unique. So what I did is I made my deck very unique. I
Okay.
meditated. I meditated on each card.
Yeah.
What do I, you know, and it was really unique. So I wrote on each card from that meditation. But what's great about these cards is that I have found using them now for, oh gosh, 30 years, um, is that they're very predictive.
Hmm.
And it's really funny, like I'll say, if you have any questions, save them to the end. 9 out of 10 times, there's not a question left. Secondly, I'll say something to somebody in about 6 months, a year, maybe even. I
Hmm.
just had this happen the other day and said, you know, when you gave me that reading, it didn't resonate. Guess what? Exactly what you said happened. So that's how spirit works. There's no rhyme, no reason. It's just that you have to be well protected. You have to be spiritually connected. Um, you know, I don't believe in, and I don't knock other people, but I'm not a big believer in rituals and stuff like that. I just go to the source, which is God.
Yeah.
Um, that's who my source is, I I work with heaven. So my numerology turned into being formally trained to being channeled numerology. So when I do a chart now, people just get blown away and say, "Oh my God, you nailed me," or "You were really spot on." But what I can do when I do the chart is I can help them facilitate some of the things that didn't make sense to them or that they were aware of, but they couldn't figure out, exactly how to go about it. And also to what their karmic lessons is that they designed on their blueprint. Okay. And what's so cool is that when you can understand your blueprint because you designed it, it opens up many avenues because you're going to have lessons to learn in this lifetime. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are a brain surgeon or you're the janitor.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have lessons through people, places, situations, and things. Okay. And if you can have a spiritually balanced person to hold your hand, walk you through it, try this, be a cheerleader, uh, encourage them to maybe study a particular material. When I do life coaching, I have a very succinct way of teaching, and I've perfected it over the years. So I do it with audio and the chapter notes, and then they have to teach me. That's the kicker. They have to teach me what I'm teaching them.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you something. I am so proud of the ones that really actually do their homework because they have made tremendous progress in their life. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I have a background teaching for many years, and I always told my students, doing your homework matters. You can sometimes skate through a little bit here and there, especially you just teach foreign language. I said, you can't fake your, Spanish 1 and 2. You got to know some things, and then you build on it and you can be more creative. So I completely hear you. Yeah. So
It's right now I'm working with a gal that's a physician assistant, and I want to tell you something. She brings tears to my eyes because she gets it. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And even when you go through some chapters, what I tell people when you're spiritually working on yourself,
Oh, yeah.
you have to be patient.
Woo.
Okay. And so you have to be patient. And we're on a chapter and they'll say, "Oh," I go, "Listen, there's no rhyme or reason of that. You have to be at point A to point B. This is not college. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to grade you. This is not a semester. So whatever it takes for you to, like, I'll give you a good, for instance, in one of the chapters I teach is about the law of resistance. Well, it's very powerful because a lot of times that voice in between your ears is your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so therefore, I call that the critic, or it's going to sabotage you in some way, shape, or form. Okay. And when you can break the critic, and there's no time frame on it because everybody's different, is the day you will get out of that prison in between your ears.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That makes total sense. The kind of internal self-sabotage, the self-criticism. Yeah. That a lot of people grow up with in the US for sure.
And
So
the rewards, Mark, are seeing people being able to conquer that critic. It took me a long time, but I had a teacher that, she'd catch words coming out of my mouth and say, "Cancel that, restate that."
yeah.
And it was great because it was like hands-on training. And I try to carry that through when I'm working with each one of my life coach. So it's not only just on a personal level, but it's also spiritual. So they get the double benefit.
Yes.
Now I'm known as a straight shooter reader because I don't mince words, but they know that I love them and they know that I can kick their butt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're great. So with your your clients that are coming, like I'm sure you have some people like when you do gallery readings, it's kind of like they want a reading for that day. And the clients that you're working with more, in a program life coach, what does a typical program look like in general? Is it like a couple months, or it's always just customized to whatever they need, or in general? I mean, not necessarily the.
Say that again, Mark, because the Wi-Fi goes in and out sometimes.
Okay, yeah. So with the clients you're working with, like doing life coaching, so they've kind of invested, they want to go over, work with you for an extended period of time versus like a, gallery reading where they get a, reading, and that's great. What does a program typically look like? Why do they come to you? What are the main reasons people are seeking your help right now? And what does a program typically look like a life coaching program for you?
Well, everyone's unique. I make it
Yeah.
tailored to the person. I don't have a set format like where you would say, like you're going to school.
Right.
This is the curriculum, and week 1 we're doing this and that. Oh no, it's very individualized.
Great.
And we work at the pace that is comfortable
Yeah.
and enlightening. And I don't mind going over things, or if we're working on a particular thing, there's no time frame
Yeah.
because I want them to get it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
I want to lovingly get them through it, whatever it is, because I really teach this. Life is like a bookmark.
Yeah.
And so we have different chapters of our life with people, places, and things. And people have to understand on a spiritual level, whether it's been the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? There's a lesson to learn. And when you can know the lesson, you'll move forward. Some people, when they get hurt or disappointed or brokenhearted, they're stuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're stuck.
Yep.
And, then you're giving power to the negative, right? And that's why I lovingly say, well, what did you learn from that experience? Forget about that you're brokenhearted and that you're disappointed or that you're stripped of your self-esteem. Why did you give your power away?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great. So can we open up for some questions? I'm sure Jill has some questions. Would that be good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and look
Questions,
what else
mini readings,
look what I brought today because of the pet part of it.
All right, great.
I use different cards all the time.
Nice.
And I thought, well, how great is this? I'm going to do the numerology, which is your soul. And then I'm going to add the spirit animal cards, which are really, really wonderful.
Great.
And so I love doing readings. And I pulled one for myself today, and I got, look at this beautiful card.
Uh-huh.
The deer.
Oh.
And the deer represents love.
Oh.
Okay. So this is a message not only for me, but for you and everybody out there. Be gentle with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. Isn't that beautiful?
That is, yeah. I can relate to that. Yeah, I received that. Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
You're welcome. Now, what's really great, we're going to do little mini readings on the numerology. But when they get the name on their birth certificate and their birth date, that's when I really go to work.
Okay.
That's when you really find your blueprint. But we're going to do the little mini ones today, which is great too. And I love doing it.
Okay, well, great. So I'm going to unmute Jill and go ahead, Jill.
Hi. Thank you so much, Joanne. This has been absolutely fascinating, and your words are really hitting home today. It's everything I needed to hear. So I love your energy and, just the karmic lessons and stuff. It's all very interesting timing. So should I, do you want to just give me a little mini reading? Because I don't really have questions. I'm with you all the way. You're my kind of girl. So.
Oh, well, that's great because it's really funny after doing this work all these years. I've had so many people say to me, oh, thank God that you're a straight shooter. Or I tell them I'm a straight shooter because I don't want them to think that I'm saying something to hurt them or malign them or anything like that. But I don't dance them around the park. And I appreciate your accolades. That's beautiful. What's your month and day, Jill?
Sure. It's August 4th, 1966.
Well, isn't that funny? You're a Leo too.
I was thinking you were a Leo.
I am a Leo, and Mark and I were talking. Jimmy Mack's a Leo too. That was on Mark's show.
I know Jimmy Mack, yeah.
Oh, you know Jimmy Mack too?
Yeah, that's how I got Mark, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I think what's really cool about you, first of all, it just, to give you a little thing here. First of all, you and I both have a J, okay? And J's, if you really think about it, because it's symbolic, all right? So we're very strong, but we also have that little hook. We have to be sure that we're not hanging on to past boo-boos.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't want the boo-boos to get stuck in our little loop there. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's very, very important because the J is really a very strong, they're survivors. They're they're the leaders. They're strong for themselves. And you have to be careful because people will take advantage of you.
I know.
Okay. And when I get into the I part of the Jill, I just want, you're very loving, you're very sensitive. And a lot of people mistake you because they think you can handle everything. And that's not true.
Exactly.
That is not true. Not true, not true, not true. So, and because you're too kind, I want you to be very careful of not being taken advantage of because you always try to see the good in everybody. And that's when you get duped. Okay. So I say, Jill, no rose-colored glasses, baby. So, and I'm a Chicago girl. Mark cracks up, but it's true. You can't take Chicago out of this girl, even though I've been in Florida 40-something years. Who I always say, who is the boss in a baseball game? This is going to help your sensitive side, okay? And they'll say to me, oh, it's the coach, or it's the pitcher, or it's the catcher. No, you know what? It's the umpire. We need to be umpires, okay? What's an umpire do? He calls it like he sees it. He doesn't miss a trick. It's a ball, it's a strike, it's a single, double, triples out of the park, safe, home run, foul ball. Can you change the umpire's call? No. No, 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 and no. So if we are the umpires of our heart, mind, and soul, right? It's okay because we've got to get rid of that word selfish, or we have to do for others. So let's be a rug, or let's sacrifice ourselves to make other people happy. Wrong message.
Thank you.
And it's not like, and I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. It's not that I'm telling people, oh, be a jerk or, be egotistical. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about standing strong in your own damn shoes.
I know.
And stop letting people pull you all over the park. I like to use this, here's an analogy I teach when I do life coaching. I think you're going to love it. It's perfect for your name. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Think about a crossing guard. And now we have, and I'm a Chicago girl, so I'll use an example. Harlem Avenue and North Avenue, busy intersection, right? We got a crossing guard there. Is her stop sign up all the time? No. But she uses the stop sign when she has to have direction, when she needs to control the situation, right?
Yes.
We need to start being crossing guards with people, places, and things. Okay. There's a point where we have a hard time saying no or stop because we want to be good people. Well, then you become a martyr.
Totally. Yeah.
So you weren't born to be a martyr. Right? So there's a lot of ways to say no. Not at this time. Let me get back to you on it. Let me think about it. Or no, that's not something I could consider at this time. being powerful in your shoes, being genuine. I like to do this, and I think this would be very powerful when I'm tuned into your soul. When people come up with stuff for me, which really, they'll present something, or they want to dump their problem on my plate, you understand? I recognize that. It's not that I'm a jerk, that I don't want to handle it, but what I'll say is because now people who don't want to fix themselves, or they have a problem and they know that you're compassionate, or they know that you're the Rock of Gibraltar, as you are, okay? And you're strong, they're going to come and they're going to pull and they're going to tug, because they're never going to do the work. You understand it? Because they got you. Let me just dump it on you. Another analogy I'll give you is you and I are in a buffet line, and I'm in front of you, and I'm very gingerly filling my plate with what I want to put on my plate. I turn around and I go, Jill, how you doing? And I look, and you have a mountain on your plate. And I go, oh my God, what happened? She goes, and you say to me, well, I didn't put one thing on there. That's because what people are doing to you. So what I say is when somebody wants to dump on my plate or their problem, because I'm strong or I'm the wisdom, and not just because I'm spiritual. I'm talking about because I worked in a Fortune 500 company for years. I did corporate work. My spiritual work was on the back burner. But I would say, and this is what I would welcome you to do, is you give them advice. You may want to research here. You may want to call so-and-so. You may want to check that paper out, or you may want to dig a little deeper to find the answer, okay? And then, I give them all these, you give your opinion, you give suggestions, and this is how I finish it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You have to give back their authority to fix it.
Yeah.
Now, I also teach this. If you are a fixer because you're compassionate and you feel, somehow you were trained with guilt and fear at a young age. Well, those are shackles.
Yeah.
I don't do guilt anymore once I understood what guilt is. And I'm Italian, so they give you a teaspoonful of oatmeal and a teaspoonful of guilt just like that. Right? So I had to learn this through a teacher, and she happened to be a nurse, which is wild. And she said, you have to do something wrong in order to feel guilty. So I'll say to my client, have you committed murder? Have you robbed a bank? Have you assaulted an elderly person? Have you harmed a child? The answer is no, 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 no. Then fixers always wind up victims. Always. No doubt about it. Because those people that want fixing will keep coming back and sucking your energy dry over and over and over, because you weren't a good crossing guard. You weren't a good umpire. Does that make sense? So my spirit gave me all these little examples over the years, and I'm grateful. I'm very grateful, because I do pray daily, many times daily, and I'm so grateful for the little innuendos, because it does keep my humor going too, because I got to have a little. You can't be so intense and so mundane when you're helping souls, when you really love humanity, or you love God and you love the spiritual work. I don't force anything on anyone, but I surely will call it the way I see it, because I'm a good umpire.
Yeah.
And I do it lovingly, but sometimes it's got a little bit of a kick in the tushy too.
I like it. Yeah. Joanne, you're so on. I mean, it's exactly what I'm going through at this moment.
Well, you're in a decision-making year. If you could visualize on a numerology level, is that I want you to visualize a huge scale, Okay. And it's very important how that scales balance. That's people, places, and things. So visualize that. So it's all about you weighing out what is good for me. Ah, that's really good. Or not good for me. Healthy for me, not healthy for me. Do you understand? That's where you can stand in your power. That's where you can use your crossing guard thing too.
You know what's interesting is that I have Libra rising, so it was a really good analogy.
Well, we're karmically connected because guess what? I'm a Leo with a Libra rising.
What are are you a Pisces moon too?
I'm a Scorpio moon, which makes me psychic.
Right, right.
So, uh, but karmically, we've known each other in a different lifetime. So when I'm looking at where you are this year, I feel like you're going into a more powerful cycle now. And maybe this was the perfect thing for you to hear today, that you have to draw this in your mind. So we're going to spell this out or put it on that piece of paper, like Mark said. Write out Fixers. Write that out. And then I want you to put a big equal sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want you to write out VICTIMS. Fixers will always be victims. And they don't care really if you're disappointed or you're hurt or you're exhausted. They don't care because they're not consciously aware of that. So when I say you have this big scale this year, this is what I teach in when I do a chart, or even if I'm doing cards and it comes up, and I'm because I'm a clairsensor, uh, I will say to them, whoa, you need to make some healthy decisions here. Good for me, not good for me, healthy for me, not healthy for me. And if you have to clean house on some people that are toxic, okay, so be it. Stop doing the guilt thing. You
I
haven't
have
committed.
I
You
have
haven't.
been cleaning house in the
Yeah,
past
right. So
2 years.
you're in a very good cycle now, and I really truly feel like the next 6 months are going to be much more where you're going to weigh out what's good for you and make some healthy decisions. And be careful who, you know, any kind of paperwork or things like that. Make sure you know what you're signing. Check all the dots. I like to see that. Also, too, this is like get on some strong probiotics this year, I would say. I'm feeling that very much for your intestinal area.
Yeah.
Um, and so now there's a lot of people doing probiotics and prebiotics. Now, I haven't researched the pre, but to me, anything with the gut, everything comes from the gut. All your health comes from the gut.
Right.
And if you are a fixer, guess where you're going to have problems?
Oh, no wonder. I've been having digestion issues and stuff, and that's all I do is fix.
That's what I'm picking up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picking up. And so, uh, and here's the thing that I love about your birth chart, birth date, which I just did your personal year. But let me go back to your birth date. You have a gift from God in your year that you were born, and it's called a master builder. And it is very, very powerful. It's very powerful energy, and you had to earn it for many, many lifetimes. So it comes with a humongous amount of responsibility, because if you are good morals, you do the right thing, um, you have goals, you study or whatever, you put all the positive stuff in there, it'll take you to the moon. People who lie, cheat, steal, scam, it brings them, and I've seen it. I've seen charts. I've worn, worn through readings, and is the worst of it. The end result is prison. And the one gentleman that I read, oh God, maybe 20 years ago, had several master numbers, but he had this particular master number, and I told him it comes with a lot of responsibility. But he did go to prison.
Wow.
So it's very powerful. and it's because you're strong, and it's that you do the right thing. Probably resonates in you more than most people because you earned it from so many different lifetimes. You're an old soul. I don't know if anybody ever told you that you're an old soul.
Definitely.
But your major, major, major birth lesson, that one of them anyway, because I haven't even done your whole chart, but just from your birth date alone, is for you to stand strong in your shoes, for you to not be insecure, for you to love yourself. I will share this with the audience. One of the first affirmations that I have everybody work with to get unstuck, and it takes a long time because your critic's going to fight me, but I will tell you and the audience that your critic is never going to beat the Chicago girl, ever. Never. And I've had the best of them try to argue with me, and that's okay, because I gingerly keep going forward and go, not true. Okay, now let's do this. You see, so because I've killed my critic, I know what the critic does. And I know when they're going to battle me because they don't want you to be happy and successful or balanced or healthy. You've lived with that for how long, right? You're going to fight me. I get it, but it's not going to work.
I love it.
So, I think the biggest thing is for you to find that inner strength to find not let people rocking your world or take advantage of you. And I think I gave you a good example with the crossing guard today, or the scale of good for me, not good for me, healthy for me, not healthy for me. Does that make sense?
Totally.
And being that you're Leo with the Libra rising too, pay attention to your sixth sense, your mother's intuition, whatever they want to call it. They label it all kinds of stuff. Think about the times that you have not followed that gut feeling, and you move forward and you ignored it, okay? And you look back and you go, could have, would have, should have.
Yep.
So my message to you is pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Pay attention to that. And I'm going to pull those spirit animal cards and see what we get. I have the deer. Let's see what you get today.
Yeah. This is fun.
Good. Well, I love what I do if you can't tell.
Yes.
Oh my God, look at this. You got the moose. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I went to Jackson Hole and I loved the moose. Yeah.
I love Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Love it. Okay,
We're
look
connected.
at it. The moose represents, in the spirit animal cards, wisdom.
Of course, yes.
Of course. So it says, let your head and mind reach to the stars. Huh? Yeah, keep your feet grounded on the earth. So you got to have that balance. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Yeah. I love how these confirm things. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. What did we do today? We did your soul.
Yes.
We know that you have a master number that you brought forward for many, many lifetimes, and that you're an old soul. So don't put an age requirement on anything, because it's like people say to me, well, I'm too old to life coach. No, I didn't see where there was any age requirement on that. We're not talking you have to be born at a certain time of the year to sign up for kindergarten. No, that's not how this works. So listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. Look at that.
Yeah, everything resonates. Mm-hmm.
It's a meant to be kind of thing. You think it's a coincidence that you're on this call today?
No.
There's
I didn't know how badly I needed it either.
There's no coincidence. And if you got your whole birth chart done, it will blow your doors off.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Because you designed it. I'm just the interpreter.
Right. Yeah.
And let's see, we'll get another card here, because I believe there's wonderful wisdom. Okay. Ah, look at that. I went to the middle of the deck, and out of all these cards, you've got to see this. I'm going to hold this up. Out of all these cards, I pulled the same one I pulled for myself, Miss Leo.
A love card.
The deer, which is love. So now you got love and wisdom. Marry that together. Look at that. Be gentle with yourself. And that's the thing about Leos. They're very hard on themselves.
Yeah.
You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. There you go. I got the exact same card before I started with Mark today.
Oh, that makes me really happy. That's the card I wanted.
And I just went to the middle of the deck.
I know. You know what? I have a tarot deck, and for like a little season, there were 82 cards, and I would pick the same one every time, and it's just interesting.
What was the card that you picked?
I don't remember, honestly.
Oh, okay.
It was
okay.
a while. Yeah.
But spirit works through people. That's how I truly believe it. And it's either a blessing or a lesson. There's no in between.
Yeah.
It's just like being invited to Mark's show. I look at that as a blessing. And what really was the kicker is that when Jimmy Mack told me, oh, you'll love Mark, he's from Chicago. He knows I'm a Chicago girl, even though I've lived in Florida for God knows how long.
Right.
40 something years. You can't take that out of me.
Yeah.
They told me 40 something years ago, you're gonna lose that accent. Well, it hasn't happened yet. You're gonna lose that accent now.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for all of those beautiful messages.
You are so welcome.
Oh, really so nice.
Yeah, thank you, Joanne and Jill. That was great. Also, a very in-depth mini reading of what Joanne does, and as you could tell, that was spot on for Jill. It resonated,
I don't know if you can tears.
Yeah, there you go. And it's a good way of how we get a lot of messages and confirmations of things sometimes we know, and learn new things. You're like, oh yeah, or I've been kind of thinking about that. So yeah, so thank y'all both for that live reading, live demo.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. So as we get ready to close out the show, is there any last message you'd like to leave the viewers with, Joanne, for today?
Well, I think the most important thing is never stop seeking, never stop learning. We learn through people, places, and things. And I think the most important thing is to center yourself. Is it a blessing or a lesson?
Mm.
And that happens in many different situations.
Sure.
But I think the most important thing, and I think one of the things that I shared with Jill too, is that guilt and fear will stop you in your tracks. And the critic will sabotage you every second of the day. You're just not aware of that inner voice that's running 24/7. And it's not your friend, and it's not a cheerleader. So that's who you're taking instructions from. Oh, you're out here being wonderful and sweet to everybody. But to yourself, that's what I work on.
Yeah. Always, as we say, from within to without. Yeah. Absolutely. Well,
Thank you so much, Mark.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it in the notes for the show, but also could you share, if people want to get a reading from you, do some life coaching, what's the best way to reach you?
The best way is they can text me or call me, 727-743-3400.
Okay.
And I have my webpage, which is Psychic Joanne, Joanne, Leo.com. And my Gmail is the same thing, psychicjoanneleo@gmail.com.
Yeah,
so
go ahead, I'm sorry.
And I work strictly by appointment, and truly their chart and the cards change all the time, so they can have either a card reading, or they can get their soul chart done, or they, if once they get their soul chart done, they might want to do some inner work, and that's where I come in with life coaching. Very different than some life coaches that, it's not just about career. I'm about the person, and the career just happens to be a benefit from working on yourself.
Got it. No, well, great. Well, again, thank you, Joanne, for being my guest on the People and Pet Show. That was fabulous. And yeah, we go live every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Each week, I interview a guest in the holistic space for people, animals, or spaces. Stay tuned as I make an announcement about the show for the upcoming weeks. And also, just one announcement on my end. Next week, Wednesday, July 22nd, I'll be a guest healer on the July 2020 Spiritual Gathering at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Each month, Deepal Shah, a medical intuitive, invites about 8 guest healers from the U.S. and other parts of the world to lead a group healing and activation for about 10 minutes each. And I'll be leading a group healing for the animal kingdom. So join us. I'll have it all on my Facebook page, so please join us. And if I can be of service, I do mini readings sometimes, pop-up mini readings, which are great. And if I can be of service, please go to my website and book an appointment so we can work in even greater depth. Again, thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Jill, for being on the show. And again, if you're seeing this on replay, give it love, likes, thumbs up, share it with your guests, and reach out to Joanne. All right, everyone. Thank you for being on the show. Have a great day, great week, and we'll be in touch. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.